Hi, welcome. In this video again, I'm going to be bringing Conrad out into the open area. Now the good news is I've already had him, he's getting a lot more agreeable. I've had him out to the bathroom, so he's gone to the bathroom. And you know, some other dogs, like I predicted, some neighborhood dogs came out and he was wanting to really invest, express control. And I just nudged him out of that. It wasn't perfect, but it's coming already, and but at least in terms of investment, it's a lot more agreeable to me. And so here, what I'm going to do is I'll bring him out again. It's been, you know, about an hour or so since my last video, and already, you know, I just kind of gave it a little bit, give it some more downtime in the crate, and he's relaxing more. But again, just knowing how to take my time, how to take your time here is important. Initially, you know, he's a lot of conflict, a little bit of conflict still, but especially coming initially out of the crate. Again, I'm going to film this, I'm going to move the camera around a little bit so you can kind of see. The goal here is to get him out into the open area, the training area, so I can make a couple of, you know, some interactions with him, and just, so I'm going to be encouraging him a little bit. I am giving a little bit of reward, a little bit of praise here, because what I'm doing here is understand when you get a dog that is very high conflict, even to say using the collar, it's a balancing act. Okay, so you know, to help to kind of offset some of this, the focus is definitely on control. Because here's the problem: is if you just try to shift gears and go like, I'm just gonna reward, I'm gonna go and motivate that way, it puts you in a very vulnerable position, because you need to gain control of fade in at a certain level, okay, with this type of situation. So it's a balancing act, but at the same time, if you don't come down a little bit in terms of you know, reward and agreeableness, and that way, in terms of motivation, the dog, then you can go into high conflict, and that can turn out to that way as well. So here what I'm doing here, you can see me motivating a little bit of reward, but what I'm doing is I'm tipping the scales just so slightly here to help to him to respond and be a little bit more agreeable to me. But at the same time, it's all about control. So I'm playing a little bit of a balancing act here with him. Not a balanced trainer though. I'll make that clear. So it's all about getting this right. This is not a learning-based exercise. This is a power play here. It's about control. So right at the very beginning here, Conrad, come. I'm going to pat him a little bit here. All around. And see, a lot better. Now we're going to shift gears here a little more. I'm going to bring him out. We're going to move the camera around here so you get a nice view. Now he wants to surge forward. I was preventing him from doing that. Move forward with him. He wants to go towards the outside here a little bit. I'm inserting influence over him. I'll bring him to my side. Forward. So I will nudge a little bit here. Take my time. Now here's the problem with the tail wagging part, okay? You saw in the last videos the tail was wagging too, and look at the level of conflict. Okay, so, you know, the issue about a tail wagging, how we perceive that is happy, agreeableness, and everything. It's context, okay? When you deal with a pit bull, tail will be wagging, the dog could be, you know, trying to maul another dog or a person. So never take that as what you think it is, okay? It's about control. It's about relationships. So, because here's the thing, when dogs are, you'll see it. When dogs have a high level of need, it's like a runner's high. When the endorphins start kicking off, and the process itself will excite them. And so they'll look like they're sexually aroused. That's when you know you got a high need dog. So it's really important. It's a fine walk, especially when you're starting to engage it. So it's all about you taking control, but in such a way that isn't going to trigger high conflict. But also, you don't want to go on the other side of the fence, like, you know, force-free trainers in these balance dogs for years, because that can get you in trouble too, because a dog like Conrad, he's got to release control, okay? And I'll do certain things to help to kind of break down the level of conflict. Like I will pet on him a little bit and touch him, because for me, my personality type for him is too much, okay? So it's like, so you have to kind of be reasonable about this, but at the same time, notice what I'm doing here is I'm taking control, ultimately. And I will touch a little bit here, but it's not so much about touch, about thinking that what's happening is absolutely great. Okay, I'm just touching, just rewarding him a little bit for being agreeable to me, okay? But within the interactions part, not about the position, about the doing the sit. Okay, this is about him, agreeing to allowing me to take control of him. But with me being in control. See this? Bring him around. See how I'm manipulating him here? I want to bring him in position, but right in a certain interaction. I'm going to touch him. I mean, great dog. Pit bulls are great, okay? But you have to be the right personality type with these dogs. Okay, I understand that it's a relationship, and that's when the dog's in really bad shape that way in terms of taking control and in danger of biting somebody. Same as here, right? It's just kind of like, okay, sure, Dale, I'll go with you, but as long as this kind of goes down a certain way here, as long as you're reasonable, not going to be, see how right here. So it's all about being reasonable, not being over the top, taking my time, don't go too fast. We're hanging out, but it's just like having a conversation. Try to picture this like I'm having a conversation. I have the pressure collar on him, because ultimately he's got to know that I'm taking control, but I'm not being tyrannical. Okay, but he's agreeable because I'm doing the same thing each time. I'm moving this exact same way each time. So one step forward, preventing him from surging in front, bringing him back. I'm going to touch him a little bit here. So the good news is people finally get to see me pet my dogs at the beginning. Okay, just to help to line this up with the dog that is really high-end, a lot of control issues here. But I'm not getting overly emotional. It's not like that. Okay, this is about connecting with him. Now see right here, start to go, go a little bit here. I'm leading him with the, bringing him around, getting him to respond, figure this out. Yeah, good. One step. So it's the same thing. It's like a light switch going on and off. If you're petting on a dog like this, make sure you're emphasizing leadership and control. They turn that light switch off, okay? It's more to make it a little bit more agreeable to what's happening without just keeping the level of conflict down. Reducing my chance of getting bitten here, that's all. Because for a dog, the petting stuff represents them being in control. So I'm leading him into thinking he's in control. So I'm transitioning this a little bit easier. And I just fed him, gave him some food, some water again. Taking stress off of him. But this is progress, okay? This is a big step to get him out here like this. Because you watched the first video, he was pretty edgy. And then going from the crate out a little bit, a couple steps, able to get him outside to the bathroom. That was the goal, which worked out really well. He went to the bathroom, got to feed him, so we're just getting into a little bit of a rhythm here. But low distraction right now. No distractions, just him and I. This is what you need to do, just keep it. But just one step. Keep good integrity here with the method. I want him to get used to being right beside me this way, not advancing in front, not gaining fulfillment anyway. Just, like I said, having a conversation. We're coming to an agreement and understanding here. It's like kind of like rewriting the contract. In his mind, right? This is about the past saying, well, Other people already signed off on me having full control. They signed off on it. Now I'm coming into a different situation here where Dale's rewriting the contract. So I'm helping negotiate with him signing off on this. So, you know, this is why, again, it's about being reasonable with what you're doing. Because like I said, the problem here is you can get a dog, when the dog bites, it changes a lot. Okay, it really removes hope from a dog. So you want to do what you can do to help reestablish the right connection here. And I can tell I'm going to fall in love with this dog pretty quick. Okay? I mean, because some dogs really, because again, come from, you know, knowing that they just need the right person to line this up. They're going to release stress. They're going to be so much happier because it's not their fault. They're just being an animal. You know, they're just going to follow the path of nature. So, absolutely fantastic dog. And sometimes what happens too, when you enter a situation where it's a lot more challenging, okay, it causes you to put a lot more thought into what you're doing, and because of that, it creates a deeper bond. You know, you appreciate dogs more, because sometimes when it's almost like too easy, you know, that can be fine, but because dogs are great. But when it's more challenging and you have to work for it, you got to commit more to it, you appreciate the relationship more. All right, because it's like, you know, you have a better understanding. They understand you better, you understand them better. And it helps you see what the method's doing. It really highlights what the method does for some dogs. Bring them around here. Line this up. So this is a great moment for day one. To get to this level here with him, considering how much control he's holding. Fantastic dog. His eyes are still red. Okay. You know, just being Conrad. And his name, he'll recognize his name more. His name was given to him today. And so as I do this method, I fade in more and more. He'll start to, you know, respond more to his name being used. And so again, you saw how this works. It's like making some adjustments. But when you're dealing with a dog that, like a pit bull, has a lot of control issues, right? You really got to make sure you're doing it right. You want to line this up properly. Okay, you want to make sure that the method is what's going to create change. So these interactions are what is going to fade me in properly, and then this transferring over to his owner. So again, great progress. This just continues forward. You're going to see more and more change, him becoming more and more agreeable, okay, to the method. Then starting to line up through other distractions, you know, other situations. But again, this is kind of getting over the hump a little bit. So he's doing really well. He's starting to relax more, which is good. So thanks for watching.